Sorry, my camera cut. So to conclude the lecture, we can assume that Yaoi is a set on itself, and if we let Yaoi be a set right there, then surely there's a pussy set in it, right? There's a pussy set as long as it contains elements. So pussy set, stuff like that. Okay, so we know from the definition of a pussy set that if we have an S, one set over here, and make an intersection with another set, for this, and another set. So S, you make an intersection with another set, then there exists a pussy set wherein elements within this intersection is part of that pussy set. Alright, I defined that axiom so many times already, and it's a cornerstone to our study. Now, well, I didn't explicitly say during the discussion on the pussy set that a set itself can contain a pussy, right? A pussy set. Any set actually can contain a pussy set as long as it is non-empty. So any set S can contain a pussy set so long as S is not empty. So it's not only the null set. If S does not contain the null set only, then S has a pussy set. But if S is only defined as a set that contains the null set only, or is empty, then it's nothing. It doesn't have a pussy set. But if we have, say, set S, my markers are not working properly nowadays. Say we have a set S that contains elements, well, we have the null set, 1, 2, dot, dot, dot. Then it has a pussy set. Because if we were to make an intersection with itself, it would still be these guys. 1, 2, 3, dot, dot. But here, if we were to make an intersection with itself, in this S, if we were to make an intersection with itself, it would be an empty intersection. And if it's empty, it's got nothing in common. So therefore, no pussy set. But since this set with itself shares something common, which is just the elements of this set, it contains a pussy set. So from here, we can conclude that S has a pussy set. So S is a subset, just a subset of its pussy set. I'm saying subset only and not proper subset because S defines the pussy set. So we can say from here that S defines the pussy set of itself. Because as we all know from the definition of a pussy set, the elements of the intersection of two sets are elements of the pussy set between those two sets. And since this is the pussy set of just this set, and since these guys are just what defines S, and therefore, and since they're part of the pussy set, we can say that S is a subset of the pussy set, but not a proper subset because the entirety of S is inside the pussy set. But since the pussy set doesn't really have the anything else but S defines the pussy set. Alright, now, if I don't get sidetracked further, let's formalize the definition of Yaoi by saying that it has a pussy set. Okay. Alright, so we've used the Yaoi set in the previous lecture to prove that a set could, a pussy set would exist between male and female, or homosexual. We proved that using the we proved that using the Yaoi set, there exists a pussy set between the catboy and the twink. We use this set, but now we will use it to prove that it has a pussy set in and of itself. Now, and actually I'm going to use part of the proof here, because we proved here using catboy and twinks that the Y set, the Yaoi set itself contains a pussy because of these two guys. Now, if Y contains if Y is a class or is a set that contains T and W as its twink and C as a subsets, then you can prove it. Alright, so Y, the intersection with itself, is simply T and C, because there are no other sets here that contain T and C, but Y. And from there, pussy set, it's simple as 1, 2, 3, T and C are subsets of the pussy set of Y. But since Y only contains these two guys, these guys define or is equivalent to that pussy set. The set of Y is equal to C. And so there, we've just proved that Y contains a pussy set that contains T and C, which are its members. Quadrant demonstrandum, box to finish the proof. So that concludes this lecture. So in the next lecture, we will be talking about this. In the next lecture, we'll be talking about the integration of cube in the study. We're actually nearing the end of this course, so prepare yourself for the final choice in the last. So next lecture, integration of quantum mechanics in the study, bit of physics, quantum mechanics. Make sure you guys learn a bit of that so you guys can understand it. So states, the wave equation, some equations, quantum mechanics in general, and linear algebra. Linear algebra gives you good intuition. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and yeah.